This video talks about the first tab in the model stochastic simulation that the SOA provides. I want to just break down and talk a little bit about these values right here and what they mean to the insurer versus to the policyholder. You'll see the image right here. It takes a little bit for it to render, so we'll just be patient there. So the mortality and expense fees, this is something that this fee is something that the policyholder sees on their account value. And so whenever you see that on the exam, the mortality and expense fees, that affects the policyholder, that they see that. But these things, they are behind the scenes for the policyholder and the insurer. This is what we see. And so we see the initial cost of right here on the premium, because that's what we pay in our commissions, and we have to pay in our maintenance expenses, $250. This is a plus to the insurer. As far as, I mean, it's not a plus for the GMAB, but it is a plus as far as the account value goes. If there was no GMAB, it would just be a huge plus to the insurer. And then here's our guarantees, and then the rider fees. So this also is something that the policyholder sees. It's like, well, if you want a GMAB, it's actually going to be 0.5% of a charge that you're going to see. And I assume in this problem it's every year that you get deducted 0.5%. So in total, they're going to get deducted 2% every single year. And then this lapse rate right here, I actually wanted to show a little bit, just fiddle with the numbers, and that's what they invite you to do, is just fiddle with the numbers. I'm going to just always go into the extremes. So I'm just going to say, like, let's suppose the lapse rate was 90%. Well, you'll see here that the insurer, they lost a ton of money in the beginning because they had to pay a lot in commissions, and they couldn't recover it because the insured died. Well, it's great for the GMAB, but what you'll see here in this video, you'll see some positives with the GMAB. But as far as the payouts and the costs and such, it's not good for the insurer. It was just, and then they had a lot of money, and then they just withdrew it. So we're going to put this back at 5%. And let's say the market returns just did super well. Let's say it was just 50%. You'll see that the payout, the insurer's happy, the policyholder is extremely happy with this, and that's the point of it, is that the policyholder, they benefit because they get to be in the market without some of the risks because they have a GMAB, and the insurer, they get to collect on they're basically insuring the interest risk or the market risk of the policyholder, so they get a good payout too. They're happy. Now let's put this at negative 50%. Who's unhappy here? You know, this is taking a while to render, but I'm going to guess that we're going to see that both are going to be pretty unhappy. Yeah, and so we're going to see the insurer, they lose a ton of money. I've just put it at negative 10%. And then the policyholder, they are also unhappy here because they only got this payout right here. This is only like the cash back. I don't think it's including the GMAB here because the GMAB should be exercised. You know, actually it might be because they are getting charged fees. It's kind of hard to say, but the policyholder is not happy either because they only get what's left in the GMAB. I'm guessing it's just the 100,000. And so just play around with these numbers. The rider fees, that's gonna, if you up that, it's more likely to have the GMAB exercise, which the policyholder won't be happy with that because they'll have essentially a 0% return. And then that's the same with the mortality and expense fees. The expenses, that's probably just going to affect the insurer, and it's not going to be as seen on the policyholder side.